Hey, Chris with LLLReptile here, and today we're going to show you how to set up the Monsoon Solo. Now this is the smaller version of the regular Monsoon that Exo Terra has created. Now here's some of the extras there. You get a nozzle extension kit, water filter, remote control, even suction cups. Now let's go ahead, unbox it, show you how to put it together. I personally like that they have a smaller option on the market now, because put it this way, like for example, if you have tarantulas or a smaller species of gecko or something that doesn't need a whole lot of humidity, so kind of just something to spray down the cage and still have like a misting system. This is a really great one. I'm really stoked on the size of it actually. Perfect. So when you empty out the contents, it should look somewhat like this. This here. So you're gonna notice this says cycle. Now when you set it, cycle means how often it's going to come on. So if you wanted to set it for, every hour or so, every 4 hours, every 16 hours, what that means is, for example, let's say 4. So if I set it to that 4, every 4 hours it is going to spray it. How long is the duration? So how long? I mean 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 8 seconds, all the way up to 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds. So you can see there's quite a bit of, I guess, customization when it comes to how much water, depending on certain species. You may need to crank that duration, crank that cycle down lower, get it spraying more often for longer periods of time. You have to be able to make those adjustments, and I like that because it's all right there. Like I said, I really like this because it's more of a tiny, I wouldn't say tiny, I mean there's definitely a good amount of water in there, but for smaller enclosures, I think it's great that they have a smaller option available. Awesome, so now that's hooked up. So you may have a little bit more tubing than you're gonna need for your setup. Like I said, if you have a smaller enclosure, you may need to cut some of this, trim it down, and just cut it back, which is great. That way you can just get the right size you need. So all I did to really just test it out was put it on, just turn it on, hit on, just like that. Duration doesn't really matter because it's gonna be constant because I just have it on the on setting. But if you wanted to follow the cycle, that's when you hit the cycle button there. Cool, everything seems to be working over here. Got that nozzle going, really good pressure, doesn't seem clogged or anything, everything works. Now this right here, that O, in case you were wondering, is actually the off button. Bam, just like that. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna kind of use this iguana's cage as a reference. So, like I said, there's extra nozzles like splitters, extra suction cups, just in case you need to get more tubing or you just want to kind of move it around the enclosure. I usually like to go for something kind of more like so. That way it's kind of aimed downward almost. Like that. Aims down a little bit, but it is on a swivel there. So you can see it will turn. So depending on what kind of a cage you have will ultimately depend on how you, place this in there. So the cages that we sell here, the creative habitat ones, usually the trim for something like one of these chameleon cages can just slide right in, leaving it almost undisturbed. And with the trim there, and that should be a snug enough fit. That side. Voila. And then make sure your locks are in and your animal's secure. Now, if you have one of these guys, like an Exo Terra or a Zoo Med naturalistic terrarium, use those little, those little slits back there, those notches. It's made for things like waterfalls, misting systems, thermometers, hydrometers, etc., etc. All we need to do is hit cycle, and now it is on a timed cycle. It will now be going every 12 hours for about 4 seconds long every single time. Like I said, this is your off, your constant on, and it's that simple. Can't stress this enough, folks. Make sure you do ample research and make sure that the species that you are working with requires that level of humidity and that you actually reach it, and you have things to maintain as well as read the humidity, and not just go off all willy-nilly blind and just assume that, hey, a green iguana, let me go ahead and set that for every 20 minutes for 120 seconds. Granted, in some enclosures and in some cases that's probably going to work, but really make sure that you are on top of that. Use reverse osmosis or distilled water when filling up your Monsoon here. Regular water that you get from the tap, 1, may not be the best thing for your animal, but 2, can actually leave calcium stains on the glass. Those hard to get little stains that usually just get stuck on the glass and you start scraping it and going in there with a razor blade and it just doesn't come off? That's actually calcium deposits. It's minerals from the water. So if it's doing that to the glass, you can imagine what it's doing to the inside of these guys as well as that water filter. I mean, it's working hard. You're doing a good job, buddy. But besides the point, prolong the life of your pumps and misting systems by using reverse osmosis water. Who's honking? Just need to make sure that it's a top quality and a clean water to prolong this investment that you just made in the health and well-being of your animal. And here you have a good idea of what that's going to look like when you set it up at home. Kind of like this. Have it sitting on a desk or off to the side, and that tubing's pretty long. If I'm being completely honest, that's a lot of tubing. I would say that's maybe like 5 feet worth, which is great. If you don't need a lot, awesome, just cut it. But I think that for what comes with this little Monsoon Solo, packs a lot of water, and it actually gives you quite a bit of tubing. And like I said, all the attachments, things like your water filters, your extensions, and extra suction cups are all available through our website. So when you set it up at home, it should look somewhat like this. And if you have any questions on any of the products used in the video, go ahead and give us a call or go on to LLLReptile.com to make sure they are available. And if there's any other future videos you guys want to see, just make sure you leave that in the comments and we'll see if we can get to that as soon as possible. Alright guys, thanks for watching.